Right, my friends, if you've seen the last video, you will have seen that I took my Porsche into Porsche Leeds to have two recalls done to it. One for the brake hose recall, and secondly, because for the battery recall and updating the software. And the reason being was because the Porsche actually sent out letters stating that the battery could short circuit, leading to a fire, and it basically setting fire to the car. What this software does is it should send back data back to Porsche and statistics back to Porsche on how the battery is behaving. Now the software has been updated. I took it back. What I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to test that software out. What I want to see is, A, has it throttled the charging time, and B, has it changed the range of what we get out of the battery. So at the moment I'm at Leeds Skelton Services. I'm going to give you some statistics now and figures of what the charge is at and what time it's at, etc., what mileage we're at, and also what it's going to cost to charge as well, bearing in mind that Ionity uses my Porsche charging card, which is subsidised charging. And then I've got to go into Leeds City Centre. From Leeds City Centre I'm going to go over to IKEA in Leeds, and then I'm also going to drive up to Porsche South Lakes in Cumbria, and we're going to test out and we're going to charge again there, and we're going to see how long it's going to take to charge, etc., and see whether this software has actually throttled the charging time. I'm hoping it hasn't. I've seen certain people on forums saying what that software does is it throttles it slightly to ensure that it doesn't overheat the battery. I don't know whether there's any truth in that. I'm going to find out myself. At the moment we're at 10% of battery, 21 miles of range. It's 9:36, and we're going to pop this on charge right now. So just make sure again, yeah, 10% of battery, 21 miles of range, and it is 9:36. So let's go and get this charged up. We'll go and grab a coffee, as what evangelists do while they're charging. They drink lots of coffee. This is what an evangelist looks like, because they're always high on coffee. So let's turn this milk float off. 21 miles of range, 10%, 9:36. Milk float off. Come on. Right, come on, no time to waste. Come on then. Let's plug it in. Okay, pop that in there. Get in there. Right, let's go and swipe the card. Preparing to charge. Oh, I've got a buzz on my wrist. Authorization information confirmed. Setting up communication with the car. Preparing to charge. Setting up communication with the car. I can hear it clicking. Preparing to charging. Oh, we're in business. Right, so it's 9:40 now. Okay, 9:40. So let's see how long this takes. I'm going to charge it, and I know the evangelist will say, I think you'll find you should only charge it to 80%. I'm going to charge it to 100% because I need that range to get up to Porsche South Lakes. So let's see how long it takes. Let's go and do what an evangelist does and spend money on coffee. Did you see, by the way, on that clip, what time it says it's going to be charged at? I mean, I'll be here all day if that's for real, but I think it should be quicker than that. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Anyway, I know on this channel, if you are watching and you've been watching for a while, you'll know that I have a little dig at EVs and a little joke about EVs, but the fact of the matter is, it's no joke at all. I've owned an EV for 3 years now, and I've had lots of evangelists call me all sorts of names and have digs at me and said I've got hidden agendas, but the only agenda is of what the powers that be are trying to do to us. Now, let me just tell you this. I've had an email from a guy called Dave Morgan. So hi Dave, thanks for this. Motor dealers are trying to push people into electric cars. If you go for a petrol car, they're going to try and get you into an electric car, whatever it takes, because they need to sell a certain amount of electric cars, otherwise they get fined for it. So listen to this. He sent me an email, very interested. Lee, the MacMaster, I followed you since time began during the pandemic with the videos of your mum, and God bless her soul. And he goes on to say, so obviously you can see how close I was to her. But then he goes on to his EVs. I've had Mercedes for many years. Most recent was the GLC 300. The dealership called me up and said, we've a brand new car. It's awesome. We can get you in it for the same price and you'll save on tax and fuel. Well, that caught my attention. Now I have the EQ400. Yes, I no longer pay £450 a year road tax, VAL, and do save on diesel. But a full charge is laughable. I'm stuck with it too. Mercedes says it's because the batteries are cold. So, how do I warm them up then? Charging at home is fine, but as it costs approximately 7.9p per kilowatt, but if out and about at a public charger, if it is a working one and no one has cut the cable off or stolen it, actually that's funny because, well, it isn't funny, but I've seen a lot of that happen recently, then you're paying 85 pence per kilowatt. I hope you can use this in some way in your video content to educate people to please avoid EVs. Let me just say to you, if you are looking at buying a new car, do not listen to what the dealership tells you. They don't care, they just want you in an EV. Lots of them know it's not the way forward. They just want to sell you the EV to hit their figures so that they don't get fined. So please do not fall for it and do not buy an EV. You can see here today how long it's going to take of me wasting time and wasting money on coffee. So come on, onwards. One more thing. I sound like Columbo, don't I? One more thing. Now, you may think, okay, well, when I bought one, I thought no vehicle tax. Well, we have to pay vehicle tax. Well, I'm not an evangelist. Electric vehicle owners have to pay vehicle tax from this year. Now, a lot of evangelists will go, well, I think we're fine, it's not that expensive. Well, it isn't if you look at it, right? So from 1st of April 2025, registered keepers of electric, zero or low emission cars, vans and motorcycles will need to pay vehicle tax in the same way as registered keepers of petrol and diesel vehicles. This change will apply to both new and existing vehicles. It gets interesting though. Listen to this. Right, so basically electric, zero or low emission cars registered on or 1st of April 2025, you will need to pay the lowest first year rate of vehicle tax set at £10 from 1st of April 2025. From the second tax payment onwards, you'll pay the standard rate. This will be £195. Okay, that's fine, fair enough. Electric, zero or low emission cars registered between 1st of April 2017 and 31st of March 2025, you'll pay the standard rate. This will be £195. Right. However, there is also what not many people are mentioning, although Auto Express did. There is actually what is called a luxury car tax. Now you'll think, okay, well, people who've got luxury cars, they should pay more tax. I'm not getting into politics. However, you'd think a luxury car tax would be cars based on, say, over £100,000. That's a luxury car. No, it's cars costing over £40,000. Now think about this 1 second. A lot of electric cars are over £40,000 because we know electric cars are more costly and more expensive in the first place. So you're going to be slapped with an additional charge of £410 on new cars purchased. So it'll be a brand new car. If you purchase a brand new car from this year and it's over £40,000, you're going to pay an additional £410 annually for 5 years, starting from the first VED car tax payment. That is mental. It's almost like the government don't want us to buy electric cars now, or maybe don't drive at all. I've been saying this all along, and the evangelists have been hammering me, and I keep telling people electric cars are not cheaper. They're not the way forward. In fact, they're not the way forward at all, because you don't get very far forward. You only get about 200 miles. Come on. And don't say, I think you'll find you should have got a Tesla. So, what have we learnt so far about electric cars? Well, we've learnt that they're not cheaper to start with. They're actually more expensive on the outset. They're now more expensive if you pay over 40 grand for one to actually tax them. They also waste your time, because I'm now stood around waiting for my car to charge. So you're wasting time, you're wasting money, they're inconvenient. So I'm not really seeing any plus side to electric cars, apart from, I've said, the initial torque on them, etc. But you get a lot of cars that have got great torque on them as well, and a great sound as well. There's no soul to an electric car. So why are the government trying to push us down the route of electric cars? In my opinion, I've said it many a time, it's about freedom of movement and stopping us from travelling, because they don't really want us on the roads, in my opinion. Anyway, you know, I've said it before, share this video, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, and let's educate people on the reality of EV ownership. It doesn't work. There you go, 33%, 73 miles. So it's now 10 o'clock, time for a coffee. More money. Do we incorporate this into the cost of charging the cars? I don't think the evangelists do they? Well, I think you'll find you'd be having a coffee and you've got to stop for a break anyway. Right, £4.20. So add that onto the cost of charging your car, and don't forget this is subsidised. Normally it'll be 75 to 85 pence per kilowatt, but I pay, I think it's £25 a month or something like that now, because I'm over the 3-year free period. I now pay £25 a month to Porsche to be in the charging club or whatever it is. Anyway, I'll drink this, and it's now 10:14. Wasted a bit more time. I mean, if you want to put a value and a price on your time, then electric cars are costing us a lot more than just what it costs to charge them up. I mean, this is ridiculous now, isn't it? We're at 82%. We've got 178 miles of range. The amount of time that I'm just wasting to wait for my car to charge is just ridiculous. It's absolutely crazy. The big question is, have Porsche throttled the charging on my car? I'm gonna say it's difficult to say because of how many cars there are on the charging on the chargers there. So the more there are, the less I'm going to get. So it's difficult, but we can't really say that just yet. We need to charge later on at Porsche South Lakes, see how long it takes when we get there as well. But so far, this is absolute madness. This just shows you the true reality of EV ownership. And it's easy to say, oh, well, I think you'll find that my car's charging while I'm asleep at night. Well, people have lives and they travel around for their jobs, and this isn't going to work out. So please do me a favour, hit the subscribe button on the channel. It doesn't cost you a penny, and what that does is it'll push this video out to the entire YouTube community and suggest this video to other people who maybe are thinking about getting electric cars, and show them true reality of what it's really like. Can you imagine? You have to laugh, don't you? Can you imagine, right? The government gets their own way, right? Ed Miliband, what I've said this before. If you look up in the dictionary the word cockwomble, it just says Ed Miliband next to it. I mean, he's pushing this agenda. Can you imagine everybody having an electric car, right? First of all, there wouldn't be enough charge points. Secondly, nothing would ever get done, would it? It would just be... I tell you what, though, it might be worth getting some shares in Starbucks and Costa Coffee. It's madness, isn't it? Absolutely. Please, share the video. I've shown you my watch. I'm not making it up. You can't make this up. This is the amount of time that's wasting charging up. It's mental. Oh. Right, okay, first of all, just want to say hi to Tudor Owen. What a lovely name that is. It's from Wales. He watches the channel, and he says, oh, I thought it was you with your electric car. Anyway, let's have a look and see what it's charging at. It's not charging. It's not giving me very much power, I have to say. So far, I'd say it looks like they have throttled it, but I can't say that yet. I need to test it a little bit more. Let's see what power we're getting out of this Ionity charger and what the car's taking. Wow, that is not very much at all, is it? 22.1 kilowatts. Wow, that is that's slow. I'm going to charge it to 100%, like I said, and then we can test it out when we charge up, and we'll see what it's like when we get to Porsche South Lakes. That is really slow. Right, so we've got James here. Now, James delivers cars and vans, is it?
And vans.
And you've got a van here behind us that you're charging. Now, you just said we're getting low kilowatts per hour here, aren't we, at the moment?
Very bad, yeah.
But you were telling me about this van. What's the range on it?
So the listed range on DVLA is 178 miles with perfect conditions. I picked the vehicle up today with 100% battery charge, and it had 94 miles of range on the battery. I've now done 60 miles to get to this charging station, and I now had about a third of a battery left, about 40 miles range left.
Really? So as a van,
yeah,
for a business,
they're terrible.
It'd be absolute. How many electric cars have you driven?
I've driven just about everything that there is on the road, electric wise. And all of the vans, just all on, are very, very bad. You get 60, maybe 70 miles at a push between a charge. So all these British gas drivers and the DPD drivers, they're making no money. They're charging up the vehicles more than they are actually doing their job. It's just ridiculous.
It's madness. So you drive them all around the country?
All around the country, yeah. I do 300-400 mile movements in them, and it's just dreadful. If you want, in this time of year, if you want the heating on, you've got to add an extra charge to your journey just to be warm,
or be cold,
death,
and
yeah.
put an electric blanket. We can't even have that.
Yeah.
Put a hot water bottle in there.
So
that's
true.
crazy. So
Yeah.
what do you think to electric cars then? Do you think they are the future, having driven so many?
They're definitely not the future, but they're very good in a certain few scenarios. My typical scenario, which I explain to people, is an elderly retired person who doesn't go very far, just visits a few friends in their local village or city and does a bit of shopping. Ideal, absolutely perfect.
If they've got a driveway.
If they've got a driveway to charge, yes. That's the other thing as well, yeah.
So do you think they'll fizzle out eventually?
I personally do, yeah. They've already got other options in the pipeline, but they've put too much money into all this infrastructure that they're never going to let this go now, I don't think. It's just a costing problem. And it's like all this net zero stuff. There's the wind turbines and the solar power. What they are not explaining to everybody is that they have so much of that now that when they have a surge of wind or solar power, they have to turn them all off because the actual electric grids that we have in place cannot take the amount of power what they're putting into the grid. So they're paying them millions and millions of pounds per year in subsidies to turn their power off.
That's crazy.
But the general public doesn't know this.
And do you find that you're hanging around charging up all the time when you? So when they say I've got an electric car for you, do you think, oh no?
I say this time of year I tend to steer clear of them for the simple fact of the heating wise, and even when you do have the heating on and you're willing to lose the extra battery range, the heaters aren't very good in them anyway, to be fair. And then they say, oh, electric is cheap, it's cheap to charge, but you're sat at a service station which is very expensive. You're going to go and buy a coffee and something to eat, there's £10 on your charge straight away before you've even charged the vehicle.
Exactly.
And they know this, that's why they do it.
It's madness, isn't it? Complete madness.
It certainly is, yeah.
Brilliant. Well, hopefully it won't take much more time. I was going to say, can you get in your van and put the heater on? but you could keep warm, but you can't, can you?
No, because that's probably not charging up quick enough to put that back in. The heater's on.
I think mine is just finished. Yes, 100%.
Yes,
James, thank you very much.
No problem
And
at all.
there you go. It's not just me telling you. This guy delivers vehicles for a living, and he's told you there. The reality is not. It's not what we're being sold. Right. Thank you very much, James. Cheers.
Thank you.
Right, so it's done. There you go. It's not just me. You've got a guy there, James, who delivers cars for a living. Get out, come on. And he's told you the same thing. I mean, it's waiting around now. It's crazy. Let's pop this back and let's have a look what we've got. Oh, 10:57. Come on. Oh, okay. Right, let's have a look what we've got. So we are at 10:57. We've now got, let's press on charge there, 100% of charge and 211 miles. 211 miles of range, which is absolutely insane, isn't it? So anyway, let's get on the way. We're going to drive into Leeds now, and then from there I've got to drive over to IKEA, and then from there we're going to drive up to Porsche South Lakes, where we're going to charge again. I don't know the costings yet. I'll get to the costings at the end of what it's cost to charge at each place, so keep an eye out for that one as well. Takes a few minutes or sometimes up to an hour to actually come through on my app to show how much it is. Anyway, come on, onwards. Meanwhile, there's a filling station over there, a petrol station, and people are just putting fuel in the tanks and going on the way. And if they want a coffee, they'll go and just quickly grab a coffee while they're while they're waiting to pay at the till. It makes so much more sense, doesn't it? And you get all these people in the comment section, you get the evangelists saying, oh, you know, you need to think about the environment for your children, you need to think about this, you need to think about that. Do you know, I'm still here, I'm 55, we had cars, and cars are a lot more efficient now and a lot cleaner than they actually were many, many years ago. So I think it's all just crackers. We started off with the EU, I believe it was, giving us this ridiculous start-stop thing that everybody just switches off. It's just madness. It's about time we took back power to the people, that's what I say. And I tell you what, I hope that these videos that I make of electric cars show the true reality of EV ownership, and then you can make your own mind up whether you want one or not. But beware, just beware, that the motor dealers will try and get you in an electric car the same way the government are pushing electric cars upon us. And I believe there's a hidden agenda behind it. It's absolutely... Oh, listen to that car. Nice. Right, come on, onwards. Oh, mine sounds like a washing machine. Listen. Crazy. It's like a Bosch washing machine on fast spin, isn't it? So, I'm thinking it's difficult to say whether the new software has throttled the charging, because James back there was getting a slow charge as well, so it could be the chargers. And that's been the case throughout the 3 years that I've owned this car. It varies on different chargers, and also how many people are actually charging up on those chargers. If there's more cars there, then they're drawing more power off the grid, giving you less power to your car, so it takes longer to charge your car. It's complete and utter, it's just madness. I just don't get it. Right, where am I going? This way. It's really, it just doesn't work. I mean, I've also had it once where I was at Gretna Green Services, I think, and it's on camera. There's a guy knock on the window and he asked me whether I could unplug my car so he could get a charge, because it wasn't working with us all plugged in. Absolute madness. And you imagine the more and more people that get electric cars, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? It won't work. Share this video, share it on Facebook, share it on X, share it to your friends on WhatsApp or iMessage or whatever. Give it a thumbs up. The more thumbs up that we get, the better. And also make a comment in the comment section, because every single comment pushes the algorithms on this video. Just put EVs suck in there if you can't think of anything to say. And also hit that subscribe button on this video and it'll push the video out. I promise you, the subscription will not cost you a penny. It is free. It doesn't cost a bean, I promise. Right, okay, so I've just got into Leeds city centre. I'm parking up in the what is it, Trinity, not Trinity car park, in John Lewis car park. I've now got 96% and it's just gone up to 200 miles of range. That's because I've turned the heaters off. However, if I switch the car back on and the heaters come back on again, speed limit display restricted, no navigation. I've got things popping up on the dashboard, speed limit display restricted. Anyway, we're down, it's gone up to 200 miles, 96% and 200 miles. I'm getting loads of errors on here. Milk float off, and I shall see you probably in a second for you. So I'll catch you in a second. Right, 1 second. I'm just walking in the centre of Leeds, and we've got Richard here from Brighton, and you've come up for the weekend with your wife in a BMW i3, which is all electric.
Absolutely.
And your wife curses you each time.
A 5-hour journey becomes a 9-hour journey.
A 5-hour journey becomes a 9-hour journey. Now, are you going to go back to petrol next time? Has it been a complete nightmare?
Nightmare.
Why have you kept it?
We were just stuck in a lease, Lee, and it's just been a case of just trying to see it through the 4-year period and then hand it back with great pleasure.
The same as me, basically. The same as me. How many years have you had it for?
3 years. So the last
3 years.
Last
And
year.
it's every day been a nightmare.
Delighted to hand the keys back to BMW.
It's not just me then saying that electric cars are useless.
Not at all.
You see, that's 2 people on this video so far have said electric cars, waste of time. There we go. I'll see you back in the car in a minute. Thank you very much, Richard. When do you go back to Brighton?
This afternoon.
So you'll get there tomorrow. On that bombshell, I'll see you back at the car. Right, well, there you have it. So, 2 people who drive EVs there. We've got James, who drives EVs for a living. Told you, not the future, don't work. Let me work out where I'm going here, A6110. And then you've also got Richard there as well, who'd got the BMW, who had to stop numerous times on his way up from Brighton with his wife telling him off, getting annoyed. These things could lead to divorce. It's unbelievable. Anyway, now, it is now 12:42. I'm going to go and have lunch with Sarah, and then from there I'm going to go to IKEA, and then I'm going to go up towards Porsche South Lakes. Probably be dark when we get there with the nights drawing in, but I wanted to have lunch first with my beloved. So I'm going to have lunch with Sarah, and then we'll go from there. Now, we're at 198 miles of range, 94% of battery. So it's going to be interesting. Where are we going here? It's going to be interesting on how much it's actually cost me, obviously subsidised, and also what charge we've got when we're there, and again how long it's going to take to charge on the Porsche chargers. Now, the Porsche chargers should be fast, so that's going to be interesting to see whether the new software has actually throttled the charging time. As I said earlier on with Ionity, difficult to tell because James was having the same issues. They weren't charging very fast. So I'm going to say that's not down to the car, it's down to the Ionity chargers. Should have got a Tesla. I think you'll find you should have planned your time. What do you mean plan my time? You watch, in there they'll say you should have planned your time. You should. I think you'll find you should have reconditioned your batteries. Couldn't recondition my batteries. Tell you why. Because I'd not got enough charge in my car to recondition the batteries, so which is supposed to charge it faster, so I couldn't do that. So there we go. But there'll be an answer from the evangelists, but this is the true reality of EV ownership. I tell you what, that's really lucky meeting 2 electric car owners along the way to actually give you their verdict as well. And I think look at the comments. The evangelists will say, this is all put on, they're actors, they're people that he knows. I don't know them, I've never met them before in my life. Wonderful people, going about their way, having it throttled because their time throttled and taken away from them because of electric cars. Brilliant, isn't it? It's wonderful. Right, so I'm going to park up here. I'm going to Marks and Spencer's down here. There's actually, interestingly enough, some new chargers at Marks and Spencer's and Asda. It's basically Asda and Marks and Spencer's, and they've put new car chargers in there. It would be interesting, I'll have a sneaky look actually, to see how much it is per kilowatt. Can't get my words out. How much it is per kilowatt there, because as I say, the prices on these public charging points have gone up and up and up, to the point where I think the most expensive one, correct me if I'm wrong, is about 85p per kilowatt. But it's only going to get worse. Imagine, I tell you what, when everybody, or if they try and get everybody into the more and more people that get into electric cars, the more expensive it's going to be, right? The government should say to these charging companies, okay, don't charge VAT, we'll let you off with the VAT, and have some kind of incentive to actually get people to charge on public chargers, because it's just astronomical. It's ridiculous. Anyway, we're at 190 miles and 91% of battery, so it's depleting. Now you see, BP Pulse back there. What the evangelists will say, some of them will say, I think you'll find you should be charging while you go and have a spot of lunch. Then you'll get, and if I did that, then you'll get others going, I think you'll find you shouldn't be charging until you get below 80%. You can never, ever win where evangelists are concerned. Never. They've always got an answer. Right, we'll have a quick look at them. I'll just snap a picture of the, I shall snap a photograph with my mobile phone of the new chargers. Right, okay, milk float off. We are 189 miles of range, 91% of battery left. It's 1 minute past 1. Let's go and have a quick look at them chargers, and then I'll have a spot of lunch, and then back in the car, then over to IKEA, then up to Porsche South Lakes, and we shall see exactly what's going on. And I'll give you all the costings as well. Don't forget it's subsidised, I keep saying that. And also please do hit the subscribe button, share the video. Let's show the true reality of EV ownership. Right, so BP Pulse these are. And what kilowatt are they? 50 kilowatt? It says 50 kilowatt max with a power station behind it. Now they're 50 kilowatt over there, but are these 50 kilowatt? No, these are 300 kilowatt. Doesn't tell you the price though, does it? Not telling you the price. So you can charge using RFID, bank card or app, but what it's not doing is it's not telling you the actual price, is it? Surely it should tell you a price, like at a filling station, it tells you a price. Nothing, no price. Right, so there you go. That's another drawback, isn't it? I mean, you go to a filling station, not a filling station, it tells you how much it is per litre. But on these, it won't tell you until you actually start plugging your car in and charging. Now I don't think that's on that. That's not acceptable. And you've also got people keep asking me, can you pay with cash? No, you can't pay with cash at any EV electric car charging point. Right, I'll see you back in the car. It's getting a bit chilly. Right, okay, 2:52 now. It's going to be dark by the time we get to Porsche South Lakes. We've now got to go to IKEA. We've got 189 miles of range, 90% of battery. Let's get out of here first. 1 second. There we go. Thank you. And then we're going to head off up to Porsche South Lakes. We're going to charge up there. We're going to see roughly what mileage we've got at the end of it. Once we get to once we get to IKEA, I shall plumb in Porsche South Lakes. It'll tell us how many miles we've got. I'll give you an update, etc., and we can then work it out basically what it's cost, and also we can work out when we get there how long it takes to charge, because since I've had that software update, I want to know if the charging rate has been throttled. And charging at the Porsche charger at Porsche South Lakes will give me a better idea of whether it's been throttled or not, because I know the charging speeds at Porsche South Lakes are very good, and I will precondition my battery first as well. Right, onwards. Right, okay, bear with me. I've got 178 miles of range, 86% of battery. It's 3:10. I'm just going to nip into IKEA and I'll be back with you in a moment. So hang on a minute. By the way, I'd got level 42 playing on there and I was driving, otherwise I'd be doing this. You know, 80s. If you're from the 80s, you'll understand. Right, okay, that's all done. So 178 miles of range, 85% of battery, and to get up to Porsche South Lakes, here we go, let's have a look at that. We've got 87 miles, 1 hour and 34 minutes until we get there, 4:50 arrival time, 3:16 at the moment. An hour before we get there, I'm going to start preconditioning my batteries, and then that way we should be able to get a faster charge, which is what we want, because what I want to do is check that their new software hasn't throttled it. Hopefully it won't. But we shall find out, because that should be a quick charge. So onwards, my friends, to Porsche South Lakes. Right, okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to precondition my battery. I need to see, this is the issue, I've got to take my eyes off the road. I'm going to keep going back to click on the screen here, which is like a big iPad, isn't it? Pre-cool, preheat, on, there we go. Now that's preconditioning the battery for me there. Let's go back to there, and we've got 57 minutes now before we get to our destination, which is Porsche South Leeds, South Lakes, sorry, Porsche South Lake, got Leeds on the brain, Porsche South Lakes, and 55 miles. So that is now preconditioning the battery, and yep, all perfect. So that's 60 minutes to preconditioning, 60 minutes remaining, so 60 minutes to get there. That should be perfect. So it should give us the best optimization for the battery that we can get for the fastest charging. So fingers crossed it won't take too long to charge the battery, because this morning, what a nightmare that was. Anyway, come on, onwards. Right, okay, so I'm going to use my light on my phone there. So it's now 4:55. We've got 93 miles of range and 46% of battery. Now this is the fun bit, because it's raining, there's no canopy, and we're going to get wet, and we're at Porsche South Lake. So 4:55, 46% of battery and 93 miles of range. So milk float off, and let's go and charge up. Right, okay, touch to start. Porsche charging card. There we go. Authentication successful. Let's take that off. Right, I don't know if you can see me, it's very dark. Okay, let's pop that in. Get in there. Right, let's go and see what it says. Initiating charging. It's now 4:59, if you look. A few minutes between because I had to nip in quickly for a wee. So it's 4:59. There we go, 4:59, preparing. Come on. Come on. 4:59, preparing. We should have some music here, shouldn't we? Just waiting music, on hold music. There we go. And we are getting, oh, actually we're getting good voltage there. Charging, oh, that's voltage, you know, charging power, 102 kilowatts. Okay, is it going to go up? 105, 104, 103. Right, okay. It is now 5 o'clock. Let's see how long it takes, and we're at 46%. I'm going to nip in and see if I can get a free coffee or something into Porsche. Right, okay, so it's now 5:46, 100% charge, 250, it says 216 miles of range, it's just gone up to now. So let's get this unplugged, see how much it's actually cost us for each charge, and also time, etc. taken. So let's get this unplugged, and I can get back on the road again and back down to Leeds very shortly. Right, okay, sorry about the lighting. It looks like something out of a horror movie. Basically EV cars are. Right, let's go through the figures, shall we? So when we first charged up earlier on today, we charged up at Ionity, and that came to a total of £30.20. Don't forget this is subsidised, right? That's a 350 watt charger, which we never got 350 watt out of. We started at 9:39 and we finished at 10:54. An hour and 14 minutes. An hour and 14 minutes. That's insane. Absolutely crazy. So you can see the there on screen, the receipt there on screen. And then when we just charged up now at Porsche South Lakes, that came to a total of £18.61. And that took a total of 46 minutes in total. 46 minutes. Absolutely insane. That's a 350 watt charger as well. We didn't get 350 watt out of it. So there you have it. The reality of owning electric cars. Has Porsche throttled the charging with their software? Difficult to say. Difficult to say, because it could always be the chargers, especially with the one for Ionity. That was definitely charging slowly anyway. So I'm going to keep an eye on it, and I'll keep filming a few videos, etc. Interesting to see though. Shows you exactly what it's like to own an electric car. The inconvenience of it. They're not cheaper. It's just absolute madness. So share the video, give us a thumbs up. Hope this gives you an insight into the reality of owning an electric car. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. It does help the channel, and it also does push this video out to YouTube and educate people on the reality of EV ownership. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget, leave a comment down below as well, EVs suck or whatever, and give us a thumbs up, and make sure you hit that subscribe button and share it on social media. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.